I talked to a lot of Democrats before the election who were saying, we're going to win, Harris is going to win in Pennsylvania. But you saw this coming.
If you live in Pennsylvania and you spend time in Red County, Pennsylvania, as much as I did, the support's astonishing. I mean, I was driving home from Indiana County at 9 o'clock, and there was a Trump superstore on the side of a road. 9 o'clock on Friday night, and people are buying swag. And then that really crystallized in at the assassination. And that was in Butler County, Western Pennsylvania, fairly close to where I live. And the day or two later, you start seeing people wearing shirts with that iconic picture, and the energy and the anger, and it's like, wow, I really thought, in fact, I thought that might be ball game.
Is it just me, or did the guy who had a stroke and then literally, I don't mean this unkind, suffered brain damage as a result? Is he now the smartest Democrat and the voice of reason for the Democratic Party on Capitol Hill? I'm beginning to think so.
Let's get ready to rumble! You can't handle the truth. Somebody on the top of the line!
Hi, I'm Pastor Marty. Welcome to the Afternoon Drive. Make sure that you are subscribed to the channel, and once you are, smack the bell. Click the word all. That will give you notification of my rants, my ravings, my undeniably flawless reasonings. Please like and share this video. Make sure that you help us by getting the word out. Post this video to your social media platforms. It's the only way that we let people know that we're here. Thank you so much for watching, and welcome to the Afternoon Drive. John Fetterman, sometimes referred to as Uncle Fester, Pennsylvania's senator, has had some insight regarding Donald Trump. Now, I think some of it is genuine, and some of it is we have underestimated the political animal which Mr. Fetterman is, that he sees where the winds are blowing. He, a lot like Bill Clinton, was really good at, determining what direction and mood the country was moving in, and then shifting to that direction. And I think that has some of what Mr. Fetterman's doing. I do think, though, he legitimately understands his constituency. He doesn't just hang out in D.C. and lecture to his constituency from there and go on all the cable news shows and act like he knows what his people want when he's really never with his people, i.e. AOC. He goes back to Pennsylvania, and he made a lot of observations where he saw, hey, this Trump thing, this is an actual phenomenon. And I'm not seeing any groundswell of support for Kamala Harris. And now we know from Team Kamala that the entire thing was made up. They were making stories up, spoon-feeding it to the media, and the media was just running it. There's this momentum for Kamala. There was never any momentum for Kamala, and there wasn't a single internal poll for the Harris campaign that ever showed any momentum for Kamala. They were really hoping at the very end, bringing out all the A-list movie stars that they were paying apparently millions of dollars to come out and endorse her, that if they just kept saying it, it would just kind of happen. And what usually happens, and history points to this, when people in power try to manufacture support, when they try to manufacture an enthusiastic acceptance, what happens is, even though they know it's a lie that they're presenting to the people, they begin to buy into the lie themselves. And Team Kamala did, and they got a rude awakening on election night. Well, John Fetterman, sitting down with ABC News, said, I don't want Donald Trump to fail.
So are you going to be Donald Trump's favorite Democrat in the Senate?
I don't know what that really means, because you never know. But what I am is I'm just a regular Democrat. I'm not leaving my party, but I'm not sure why some of the things that I've chosen to do, like meeting with nominees and having views that might be more aligned with some of the Republican side. I think that's part of politics, and that's pretty much consistent with just doing the job and representing the kind of state that we have in Pennsylvania.
Looking forward, what are you most optimistic about with a Trump presidency, and what do you fear?
Well, it's like I've been warning people, like, you got to chill out. You know, like the constant, freak out. It's not helpful. So, pack a lunch, pace yourself, because he hasn't even taken office yet.
Do you think he has the potential to be a successful and a good president?
I hope, because I'm not rooting against him. If you're rooting against the president, you are rooting against the nation. And I'm not ever going to be where I want a president to fail. So country first. I know it's become maybe like a cliche, but it happens to be true.
Again, there he goes, being the voice of reason to the Democratic Party. Stop freaking out. Stop clutching your pearls. Stop making this, that every decision he makes, that everything that he's doing to move forward, that somehow, we've got a breaking news. This is what they did to Donald Trump after he won in 2016 and during his first term, those 4 years as president. Every single phone call he made, every appointment he made, it was this catastrophic event. And here's Fetterman saying, we got to just stop all that. By the way, did you see that there's an editorial running in the New York Times by a never-Trumper saying the same thing? We have got to stop the pearl clutching. And Fetterman takes it to another level. He's flat out telling his party, you have got to stop calling Trump a fascist. Because when you do that, you're actually calling all of his supporters a fascist. And there were a lot of Democrats that crossed party lines and voted for Donald Trump. Are you now calling members of your own party fascists?
What was the single biggest factor behind Kamala Harris and Democrats losing in November?
You have a singular political talent. It's undeniable.
Trump.
He had the energy and almost a sense of fearlessness to just say all those kinds of things. And people, it's undeniable that it has an entertaining aspect for that too. And just if you're not afraid to say all of those things, and after you survived an assassination, you literally were shot in your head. Yeah. And had the presence of mind to respond, fight, fight, fight. I mean, that's a political talent. It's undeniable. And also, I never believed that it was about fascism. And for me, that made it difficult for
Kamala Harris said that he was a fascist.
Yeah, well, it's like that's her prerogative. I mean, but it's not a word that I would use, because you put a lot of Democrats, especially in my state, that I know and I happen to love people that are going to vote for Trump, and they are not fascists. And also fascism, that's not a word that regular people, use. That, I think people are going to decide who is the candidate that's going to protect and project, my version of the American way of life. And that's what happened.
So many of these things are said without any actual historical context being applied. And if people actually understood what a true fascist was, you would see that Donald Trump isn't a fascist. In fact, I make the argument, even among conservatives, he's a 90s liberal. There's not much that Donald Trump stands for that the Bill Clinton of the 90s wouldn't have said, I agree with that. He's really definitely anti the what we would call the woke cancel culture hogwash. But as far as his economics and what he wants to do, it's America first. We will secure the border. By the way, Bill Clinton wanted the border secure. He's reached out to the working class. He has reached out to minorities. They have accepted. Middle-class Americans overwhelmingly support Donald Trump. His popularity keeps surging, and now you're watching the media begin to, at least shift a little more in the Trump direction. And some of these holdouts, like the Joy Not a Babe Heart and Joyless Reed, they're going to find themselves unemployed. The Sonny Holsteins, they're going to find that Disney has had enough. They finally, realize what a huge mistake they made with what's her name, Rachel Zegler, to be this new Snow White, and it became Snow Woke, and it's an utter disaster. And Disney at this point should just shelve the movie and not even try to show it like ever. Go woke, go broke, and Disney is trying to shed all of these entities that are just pulling them down and causing them to lose money. The View, Comcast wants to dump MSNBC. Why? Because it is just a skewed narrative of anti-Trumpism that the country just ain't buying anymore. And that's the bottom line. And the reporters that understand that are beginning to make the shift. And that's what John Fetterman has done, and good for him.